I didn't know what to expect when I was invited to visit the Beijing Zoo, and was pleased to find that in recent years they've begun to put more effort into improving enclosures and making the conditions more stimulating for the animals who live there.
Oh, he's got a rock. Yeah. He's going to throw it. Oh, look at that. Wow. Oh, wow.
This is one of the few things he has that's really stimulating. So when he throws a rock, he knows that people will kind of run. That's very good for him. He's manipulating the crowd. See?
Okay.
It is so important that children from an early age learn that animals, just like us, have personalities and feelings. In the West, China has long been perceived as having very different attitudes towards animals. Chinese medicine has traditionally used many animal parts, including some from endangered species like tiger bone and rhino horn. While trade in endangered wildlife is banned and harshly punished by the Chinese government, some criminals continue to break the law, and the perception that the Chinese have different values is still widespread.
She hopes that they'll all find good homes, and so it's almost like an orphanage.
After hearing negative press reports about China's treatment of dogs, I was surprised to find one of the best-run dog and cat shelters I've ever seen here in Beijing.
我们这儿的护理员就是每天给它除了喂饭，完了遛放，还有就是梳毛，还有冲水、冲澡，因为他们要降温，他们每天做的工作非常多。
The dogs and cats who come here are the lucky ones. They have escaped the fate of so many of the pets who have been abandoned. The shelter is directed by a truly dynamic and compassionate woman, Zhang Lu Ping.
Yeah, somebody brought her back from America and then abandoned her.
Oh dear, fancy all that journey from America.
Yeah.
And then how can people do that?
哎呦，我真的没想到，而且呢，我治完这个小的欢迎词以后，她起来。
I can't believe she came to visit us. After I introduced her, she hugged me. Even though she's an older lady, I'm not used to being hugged. But I was very moved because I think she's truly a great person.
For the last 50 years, it hasn't been easy to keep pets in Beijing. In the more liberal 1980s and 90s, it became easier, but there are still restrictions, and it's very expensive. Around $600 American to get a license to keep a dog in the city. Recently, as the fashion has grown, a number of would-be animal owners have found that they just couldn't cope with the added responsibility and abandoned their pets.
很多人，我认为他打来电话，就是准备推卸责任。
Many people call. I think they want to give up their responsibility. So when I get these calls, I say, I think you misunderstand us here. The ultimate goal of my work is for everyone to be loving, for people not to abuse their pets.
希望大家都不要虐待它们。比方说是有主人的，
If the owner abandons them, it's the same as with dogs. They all understand I have been abandoned, and they're melancholy for a long time.
很自卑。这么多小生命。
All these little lives, it seems they're in the palm of your hand. You have the power to take care of them. Because of this, I have to persevere.
你得坚持下去。
Dogs and cats are perhaps the animals that are closest to us, but there are other animals that are under even greater threat. China has a unique example known as the Milu, or Père David deer. We all know of areas that have been totally polluted and destroyed, yet give those areas a little time and a little help, and nature can heal itself. There are animals that have been on the very brink of extinction, with only a few individuals remaining, that miraculously have been restored. At the deer park, just outside Beijing, this miracle can be seen. My friend, Goodall, is the visionary environmental educator who directs the park.
First of all, in the eyes of young Chinese, and Chinese in general, she is a great scientist. And so we are delighted when we hear her say that chimpanzees have emotions just like humans. Chimpanzees know happiness, sadness, anger, and joy. Chimpanzees can make and use tools. Humans aren't the only ones. And then add to this her stories about her experiences in nature and with animals when she was young. And everybody thinks we should also live like that. We should respect animals.
She gets a big grin of fright on her face.
她的脸上就出现那种非常奇怪的表情，就是老奶奶刚才演示出来的。
And she can't bear it anymore, so she rushes down the tree and she picks up her little brother and she climbs with him to safety. I would like to tell people something about the wonder of being out in nature and having the opportunity to learn how extraordinary some of these other animal beings are, and share with them this feeling that's grown in me over the years of how humans have been so arrogant to think that we're completely separate, as humans on the one hand and all the other animals somehow below us on the other.
Uh-oh. Lock the door. This display is called "A Cage Is Not My Home."
It's not so bad.
All right, if you're that comfortable, you can stay there. Do you see the deer?
The Milu deer was actually extinct in China until a captive herd, bred from individuals who'd been taken to England, was reintroduced.
City people say we can't even see them. And I say, look, there they are. But they still can't see them. And I tell them that this is pretty good. In the wild, it's even harder to see wildlife.
Is that the deer?
That's right. Those little eyes are very sharp. Let's go on and see the big group of deer. Last year, an official of the Education Ministry saw my article about Dr. Goodall and the wild chimpanzees in the Beijing Evening News. He called me and asked, would I be willing to put my article in the national Chinese school curriculum? I said I was more than willing. I remember when I was young, the things we read in our textbooks gave me a lifetime of memories.
It's very exciting because, you know, the last time I saw them was in England when I was an adolescent, and I haven't seen them since. So it's very exciting to know that the program that was established to save them has really worked and come round full cycle. And here they are back where they belong. So it's wonderful.